look at all the basic functions of running a business, whether that's accounting or HR and payroll, you just saw this trend that small business owners were more and more gravitating towards online platforms rather than having their trusted advisor at a brand name shop. And the one place I always love to go back to is, this isn't necessarily small business, but TurboTax. I mean, you have something that's incredibly complicated that people really don't want to understand, but it's just a have to. And if you build an online self-service platform to do it, people are like, okay, great, I can just get it done. You know, I don't need to sit down with someone and have a whole conversation. So I just felt like there's a lot of evidence for that sort of naive notion that it's going to go online, it's going to be self-service. We just saw a lot more. We saw industries that were as equally complicated, as equally entrenched in trusted relationships go that way. And so we thought there's absolutely a path here. And so one of the, the initial hurdles was actually a pretty consistent message from a lot of major insurance companies back in 2015, that they didn't want to be online, that the online customer was a bad customer. The online customer was a customer who couldn't get insurance from their neighborhood agent, and so now they had to go online. And so going back to my naive notion, this has to go online, it absolutely did from the end customer perspective, but how much of that was going to be held up by sort of the product provider, right?
Right.
Because you have channel conflict, you have all these things going on. So I was getting through those conversations and building the case more and more, largely built on data. I mean, 70% of small business owners start the search online, and then they're told to go to that neighborhood agent.
Right.
And so, I mean, I felt like it was sort of, we just entered the market at the right place where there was a lot of folks internally at those companies, us beating the drum saying, this absolutely has to be an omni-channel approach for you guys, because sort of the incumbent big carriers, if you're not going to service this, you're going to have upstart carriers who just get an influx of capital and say, hey, we'll be completely online, right? Just kind of like digital banks in the early 2000s, right?
Right.
If you're not going to go online, someone else is going to do it for a lot less and get investors behind them to
eat your lunch. Yeah.